Baby, you're the best thing move. Baby, you're the best thing smoke. Baby, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. Baby, you're my good thing now. You gon' be my good thing forever. Baby, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. You are.
Hey y'all, how are you guys doing today? Welcome to Pretty Girl Loves Trap content. This is my review / recap of Powerbook 3, Raising Kanan, episode 4, Don't Sleep, because sleep is the cousin of death, okay? So this episode just starts off with a banging scene, y'all. So Trez G, which is Unique's dude that was at the drop in the previous episode smoking crack and, talking about Paula Abdul. So I knew, as I stated in my previous review, that he was going to definitely come up in the future because he was the only one that got away on foot at the drop. So we see Unique and his boys pretty much chasing after Trez G in the stairwell. And at first, it looks like they was kind of playing around. Then I realized, oh no, Trez G is in hella danger, y'all. So apparently, Trez G and Unique, they are day one homeboys. They grew up together. And, that was Unique's right-hand man. So, of course, Unique pretty much blames Trez G. From his point of view, it looks like he dropped a dime on the situation because he was the only one that got away. And, Unique knows Trez G has been sucking on that glass pipe, a.k.a. smoking crack, y'all. So, it's not looking good for Trez G in terms of Unique, but we all know he was not necessarily the cause of the drop being messed up. We know that was all Raquel's doing. But I believe Unique thinks that Trez G possibly, got either snitched to the cops or, Raquel, or, it's pretty much a weak link in the situation. So we see that Unique and his homeboys has Trez G pretty much in a little abandoned room, and they have him tied up, interrogating him. He all bloody and whatnot. And they have this little gruesome scene where they pretty much just kind of opens up his ear and turns a knife inside of his ear. It was so gruesome, y'all. I had to look away. It reminded me of that scene in original Power where they pretty much, I think it was Julio who had that horrific death where, they kind of ripped out the area code in his neck that was from the gang that he was representing. It was definitely gruesome, y'all. Probably top 3 gruesome scenes in the Power universe. So Unique was like, dang, bro, you was my effing heart. He was very disappointed. And, Trez G was just pleading for his life, saying, no, I'm not the issue. Wasn't me. Please, just, bro, I love you. And as soon as he told Unique that he loved him, Unique shot him in the head and said, I love you too, bro. So they pretty much had a whole New Jack City moment where Unique is Nino Brown and Trez G is pretty much like G Money. He's the right-hand man. He pretty much got sucked in and started, smoking crack. And I mean, honestly, if Unique didn't kill him now, he probably would have to kill him in the future because you can't have nobody on your team smoking crack. You can't get high on your own supply. We learned that from Biggie Smalls' 10 Crack Commandments. So, that is definitely a no-no in the game. So that scene ends and we see Kanan. He's chefing it up, making some baked spaghetti, y'all, which is, I don't think it's very common, but, some people bake spaghetti. I've had it before. And it's actually pretty good. I'm not even going to lie. But yeah, he's baking up some spaghetti, cooking for his mom. And, he's, of course, needs to tidy up. I don't know what it is about men. They don't like to clean while they cook it. They got to make sure everything's all messy and whatnot. You got to clean as you cook. Clean as you cook. Yeah, my husband's getting a little better with that, y'all. But I still got a little training to do. So he hears her coming through the door and realizes Symphony is with her. And he's like, what the fuck? He is definitely not expecting him because we find out that every Tuesday, Kanan cooks for his mom. That's a little tradition they got. And the fact that Symphony's there is just blowing up this whole situation. And it's, pissing Kanan off like, yo, what the hell's going on? So, of course, they're having dinner together. It's hella awkward. Symphony is trying his best to compliment Kanan and make this a little less tense and stressful. And Symphony was like, I'm sorry, Kanan, I didn't mean to intrude. I took your mom out and, I didn't know you guys had this tradition. So Kanan looks at his mom, was like, she knew. And you can see on Rock's face, she felt like shit. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I have to give her the Fail Mom Award for that scene. I mean, of course, other reasons. But in that scene there, I'm like, dang, Rock, you effed up. Like, come on. Like, you couldn't remember that? You so strong on this dude, you forgot it was Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, you can't forget Spaghetti Tuesday. What the hell, Rock? So we see Jukebox. She is at Nicole's house and she's in her room and they're watching the tape that they made at the mall. And they're a little play fighting or whatever. And her parents come in. They're like the typical parents, that try to, be hip or whatever, just very awkward, trying to stay with the lingo. And, Jukebox was like, yeah, Nicole, your parents are kind of cool. She was like, well, I guess, but they're not cool about everything. They're cool about some things. So, yeah, my prediction is that they're going to find out, Nicole's parents, is going to find out about Jukebox and Nicole's romance. And they're pretty much going to shut that whole situation down. I'm sure they're going to ban Jukebox from coming around. Like, I think people think that Nicole is going to die. I don't necessarily feel that she's going to die. I just feel like that they're going to offend Jukebox, either calling her a racial slur or, pretty much implying that she's no good to be with their daughter. Let alone they're not accepting. I can tell they're not going to be accepting of their daughter being gay. That's step one. Step two, not gay and in a interracial relationship. That's going to be too far for them. And I just feel like they're going to draw a huge wedge between Nicole and Jukebox. That's pretty much my prediction regarding that relationship. So we move on to the next Snow Bunny situation. And we see Tony and Marvin. They are getting an in at Tony's house in that same little round bed that we saw when she got her dog cooked, y'all. And, Tony's handling her business. They end their little love-making session, of course. Tony is getting her little bump of coke that she's sniffing. And she offers it to Marvin. And he pretty much tell her, like, no, I don't do that shit. And so she was like, what, you just sell it? So now this is the second time they're making a point that she is offering drugs to him. So I'm taking that third time is going to be a charm in some type of way. He's going to try it, y'all. I feel like he's going to get on that booger sugar and get even more crazy. And I'm nervous as hell about this, but we're just going to have to see. So, he sees LT, the little dog, well, not little dog, but the dog that he gifted her, and he's all whimpering and whatnot, and he sees his bowl of food is empty, and he was like, yo, he ain't got no food, what's going on? She was like, yeah, I ran out yesterday. He was like, you ran out yesterday, so this dog ain't eat since yesterday? And she was like, yeah, I haven't had time to go to the store. So he gets up and pretty much was like, yo, I'm taking the dog. Like, you don't do that. Like, you ate, between yesterday and today. Why haven't he eaten? So that kind of shows also Marvin's loyalty. You know what I'm saying? He is big on taking care of his peoples. And sidetrack, y'all, right before he mentioned the dog, Tony tried to cuddle up with Marvin, and Marvin was like, what are we doing here? She was like, oh, I like to cuddle. You don't want to cuddle? He was like, black men don't cuddle. Which is a lie, y'all. Black men do cuddle. Don't believe the hype. But Marvin is definitely that type. You could tell he is kind of disconnected emotionally. And this is tying into his relationship with Jukebox. I know that they're going to probably explore this more in the future, but this is definitely giving us an inkling of Marvin and his emotional disconnect. I don't know if he got mommy issues or just the way he grew up. He didn't get so much affection, but you could tell, like, when it comes to women, he's kind of weird, y'all. Like, he, had some type of issue going on. So we definitely need to see more of that and what's going on with Marvin. So yeah, he walks out and takes LT, and she was pissed. She was like, dang, you just gave me the dog, now you're going to take it back. So I feel both sides, because you can't be an Indian giver, but at the same time, if you're not taking care of the gift I gave you, especially if that's a living being, nah, you don't need that dog. Like, you're not taking care of it. You would have made sure Bella, Sparky, was taken care of. Why? When I give you LT, this big black dog, you don't want to feed it. Sorry, y'all. I just made it like a low-key racial moment. I'm going to calm down. So next we see Unique. He's on the phone with Dean to connect. And Dean pretty much is saying, he's nervous about doing any future drops because of, the situation from the previous night. So Unique was like, dang, what we gonna do? He's talking to his crew, and he was like, yo, everybody's suspect in this room. Somebody dropped the ball. Of course, he blames Trez G, which is now, who's in heaven right now, or probably hell. Who knows, y'all? And so, he was like, we don't have that much product. His homeboy was like, I don't know what we gonna do. So Unique was like, we got to step on this product, meaning, diluting the product, not making it as strong. So, he's like, that's going to be our solution for right now. And his homeboys aren't feeling it, because they're like, hey, we mess up our product, we're not going to be able to keep our customers. They want to say our stuff is weak. So he was pretty much devising a plan like, hey, we could use different colored tops on the little capsules. And, that's going to kind of show them, hey, this is different products. So when we reback up with that strong goodness, they'll know the difference. And I'm like, dang, that's a good little marketing plan. Like, they kind of delved into that into The Wire, which is another great show. But yeah, like, drug dealers be smart sometimes, y'all. So, he's also saying, like, I know Rock is behind this whole situation. We going to hit back, but we got to figure out, is it going to be either the body or the head? So now, it's his time to hit back in this fight, y'all. And it's going to be interesting. And I ain't gonna lie, in this scene, Unique, he had like a low-key Nino Brown moment. Like, he walking around. He got that lingo, that talk. He got, I believe it was a nice little custom Gucci outfit. Like, he was feeling himself, y'all. And I ain't gonna lie, Unique is one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites, honestly. I love almost every character on this show. But yeah, y'all, it's going to get real interesting as his next move. So Rock and Kanan, they're cleaning up their little family dinner. And, Kanan is very disappointed and annoyed. And I'm on him. I'm on Kanan's side when it comes to this situation. All right. So Rock, she's being, real selfish and unapologetic. She's like, I'm not going to apologize for, having a life, because mama got to have a life too. Okay. Shout out to baby boy. So, she was like, I'm not apologizing. I'm grown. You a kid. You got to get used to the fact that I got a friend, okay? Mama got a friend, okay? Kanan should be happy that, she don't got, him calling Unique, Uncle Unique or some shit like that. Why did, single moms do that? Like, when they have little friends and they'll tell their kids, hey, say hi to Uncle Charles, even though Uncle Charles is the boyfriend. Like, so weird, y'all. But anywho, Raquel is, saying, hey, she's getting reports from school and, it ain't looking good. He's not turning in assignments. His grades are slipping. I'm like, dang, like, it seems like this whole little past 4 episodes is maybe a span of maybe a week. Like, how many reports are you getting in a week, Raquel? Like, she done got 18 progress reports. All these phone calls. I'm like, dang, they really tripping up there in them schools. So she pretty much tells Kanan, like, you're done at the stash house, and I signed you up with some classes after school and on Saturdays at City College. Shout out to City College. I used to live not too far from there. And, he's like, yo, like, what's up? And she's like, I told you school is first. And, that's priority. And that is that. So we see Famous in the booth, y'all. He's in the studio with Crown Camacho and his sister. And, he got some real violent ass, like Eminem behind, NWA behind lyrics, y'all. And so Crown was like, your flow is good, but them lyrics, we got to work on that, because your audience is not going to believe you doing all this rah-rah-ish. He was pretty much telling him, hey, find your lane and we'll get there. And Crown is telling his sister, like, we got the showcase coming up. Like, if we get the right track together, I can, really push him towards some label heads and, get his name out there. And he was like, we got to be working real close together during this whole process. So meanwhile, Lulu was walking in and he peeps, through a window, through the little glass window in the door. And like they're, exchanging a little hug. By that, I'm meaning Crown and Lulu's sister. And Lulu, of course, he comes in. He ain't feeling that at all. And you could tell he got a little chip on his shoulder. So he throws, a bag of Coke at Crown. And, of course, that's all he cares about at this point. And so he goes to talk to Famous's sister outside. He was like, what's about all this? You could be, a label head and have your own studio and, music-ish that you was talking. She was like, yo, I still believe it. I just can't work on your time. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you in the game, but you got to prove yourself. Like, I'm trying to get me and my family in a good position. Like, I don't know how long you're going to take to get your ish together. And that kind of put Lulu in his place. And I'm not mad at her saying that because you can't wait on him because who knows if he's really going to be able to go legit or even try to make the steps to go to do so. So, Lulu was, I could tell he was kind of like, dang, she is right. But you could tell he's very sensitive and very insecure. And it's really making me feel like Lulu really doesn't really want to be in this game. Like it was something that he was kind of forced and born into in terms of the family business. But yeah, y'all, we're going to definitely see Lulu's journey. And I am very interested. I love Lulu. So we see Rock at the bodega and y'all, the stash house is ready. We got the cameras, we got the double bolt locks, like everything is prepared for the transfer from the old stash house to the new stash house. And so Gabe, the husband, he got this whole nervous energy going on, talking about you guys are bringing more drugs and money. How much is going? And she was like, yo, calm down. You would know on a need to know basis. And obviously Gabe, he did not read the terms and conditions of this agreement. And I'm like, you want to make a little money, but you're getting all nervous and, bitching up now. And Rock was like, yo, calm down. And then Lulu and Marvin come in and, she pretty much tells Gabe like, hey, Marvin's going to holler at you later on today because we are moving the product. Okay. And you could tell the way Rock handled Gabe, like he ain't used to that. And so his wife peeps that and she got this little grin and this look of admiration when it came to Rock putting her husband in his place. And I could tell she was like, yes, bitch, tell him. Because I can't, y'all. But you could tell like she admires the strength that Rock has. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that little sub story. So we see Kanan and Davina. They're walking on the street, maybe after school or whatever. And they're pretty much, just talking about, Davina's situation, about having to take care of her little sister. Of course, Kanan is complaining about being signed up for the after school situation. And Davina was like, shit, I'll trade places with you. I don't even know where the hell my mom's is at. Okay. I hate changing diapers. I wish I didn't have to do this. So Kanan, he goes off, in his direction. And we see Unique kind of creeping up, following them. And he hits her with this psychological bullish, y'all. Like, this scene, I love this scene because it's effed up, but it's so genius. So Unique is pretty much, just telling Davina, hey, where her mom's is at. She's somewhere in East New York, which is Brooklyn. And, that she's not far gone yet. And, of course, him peeping that Davina and Kanan are, cool or whatever, this is kind of his way in. So he's trying to play her and, kind of game her and say, yo, I can get your mom clean. And then he references some neighborhood dude that was smoking crack and he paid for the dude to get clean. And now he's a family man. He's like, he's pretty much Heathcliff Huxtable right now. And I can get your mom clean. I just need a little favor. Because, you know what I'm saying? Buck will want me to take care of you and he will want you to take care of me. So if I need something and if I can provide you with something, we can be cool. So she was pretty much kind of hesitant, was like, if I tell you something, I don't want Kanan to get hurt. So she pretty much tells him, which I was so pissed to see this last episode. But she tells Unique about the stash house. Of course, she didn't say it was a stash house because she didn't know what it was. But she pretty much said, hey, Kanan hangs out at this little house. And, I'm not sure what it is. But, hey, that's the only thing that I have at this time. And Unique was like, cool. So it was sad because, she really wants her mom to get clean. And that's the only reason she pretty much gave up this information. But, yeah, it's all Kanan's fault because he should have never let her see him come out of that house, y'all. Like, I'm still pissed about that. So Famous meets Jukebox and Kanan at the little pizza shop. And, Famous tells pretty much that he's been in the studio cutting tracks. He about to get put on. And, of course, Jukebox is getting pissed off because it's like, dang, like, why you getting put on and I'm not? Because, Famous mentioned, hey, Lulu knows Crown Camacho, and they're getting put on. So that pretty much pissed Lulu off. And Famous, he's all like, what's the problem? Like, nigga, think. Like, Famous is a cool guy. He's a good kid, but he can't read the room, y'all. So Marvin, he goes to Scrap's house to, get help to move the product from old stash house to new stash house. And Scrappy opens the door looking like beat the hell up, sweaty, just, he look like he having a bad day. So Marvin's like, yo, what's going on with you? He's like, man, I'm sick. I had some bad Chinese food. Like, my behind is leaking, okay? And Marvin's like, yo, put on some clean drawers. Let's go. We got to move this stash house. And Scrappy was like, no, I ain't going nowhere, bro. I'm sick. And I'm like, okay. And, Marvin, he closes the door on Marvin. And Marvin's standing there like, yo, what the F? And I'm like, hold up, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not in the drug game, but that don't really seem like too good of enough reason to be able to excuse out of this, situation. Like, we got a project that is immediate, dude. I don't care, wear a diaper, whatever. That's what I would tell him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know the drug game had sick times. They had PTO. They got a vacation. Let me know, because I thought it was an all-day, everyday hustle with no excuses. But apparently, Marvin stopped behind. Just let him close the door. So we see Marvin rolling up on Kanan and was like, yo, get in the car. We got something to do. And Kanan was like, no, my mama said I can't do none of that. Whatever is going on, I can't be a part of it. Marvin was like, yo, your mom ain't got to know. We going to be in and out. We got something that is very urgent. And I'm like, yo, like, do you guys don't have any other soldiers? Like, all you got is Scrappy. I know they had a soldier that got shot that we saw in the hospital episode 1. But I'm like, you guys are looking real, like, weak right here. And I know it's a trust thing because you don't want, of course, the corner boys or whatever to, know where the stash house is. So I'm like, is there nobody else? Where the hell Lulu at? Why the hell you can't call Lulu? Like, this seems like a recipe for disaster. You got one lieutenant or whatever. You got one rookie, and y'all about to move a whole stash house. Like, it is not smart at all. So we see Rock. She's at the projects, and she's asking the apartment manager for 2 apartments, specifically one on top of the other. Now, of course, we see something's cooking up, something's building. We don't know why she needs this, but I am curious what plan Rock is cooking up. So we see Jukebox, and she goes to the family diner, and she approaches Lulu like, hold up, Famous got a hookup with studio time with a dude like, why am I not part of this? And Lulu was like, hey, that's something Famous and his sister got going on. I don't have no parts in that. And, she was like, dang, won't you call in a favor for me? Like, come on, I'm worth a favor. And Lulu kind of gave her a lesson about favors. Like, no, if you ask somebody a favor, you're going to forever be in debt to them. And she kind of understood. And he was like, I wish I can help you. I would want to give you money towards it. But he was like, yo, your pops is going to be pissed at me. And, she understood. And she was like, I wouldn't want to take your money anyway. If it was a favor thing that you was getting for the low, cool. But I don't want your money, Unc. I'm going to figure it out. And I just love seeing uncle and niece dynamics. Like, I'm very close with my uncles. I have aunts, but they're not necessarily blood aunts. But I treat them as such. But I just have a lot of uncles and a lot of men in my family, so I love seeing that dynamic and that relationship. So we see Juke, she's at the mall, and she's calling her crew about a lick she know about, and they're pretty much just giving her the ice out method. Like, they're telling her, like, no, they don't want no parts of it. So she's pissed. So she proceeds to stake out, of course, some people unloading a truck, and she decides to go in there her own. Of course, security finds her. She starts running. She thinks she gets away. Next thing we know, security hems her up and they kind of connect face to face. And it's the same security guard that her homeboy, or whatever, I would say her co-worker, was beating up last episode. So he recognizes her. And of course, he got the bruises still on his face. And he was like, hey, I know you. And so I guess, he realized that, hey, she saved my life. And she realized, like, hey, this is the dude that caught us last time. So he let her go. He was like, don't come back. Just take it. But next time, I'm coming for that ex. So we see Marvin and Kanan. They're at the stash house. They pull up. And a little down the street, we see Unique and his homeboy staking out the house. And so he was like, dang, old girl wasn't lying. Like, this is, some real legit information she passed along to us. And, Unique was like, yo, we about to tax this fools, y'all. So we see Kanan and Marvin, they're going into the room where all the stash is at. And it's a lot of money, a lot of dope. And Kanan was like, yo, it's a mess in here. So Marvin pretty much is telling him, yo, I gotta go. I need you to, wrap all this up. We need to pack the fuck up. So, we see Marvin and Kanan, they're taking some boxes to Marvin's car. And so, Kanan goes back into the house to finish packing up. So Nicole and Jukebox is in Nicole's room again. And, Nicole is trying on the jacket. And Jukebox is like, hey, that cop let me go. It was nothing but God. And, Nicole was like, it was good karma. So Jukebox decide to give Nicole the jacket, just, in good faith. And she was like, maybe this boosting stuff isn't really the way to go. So I think Jukebox is kind of scared and, maybe she'll stop boosting for now at least. And so, Nicole was like, I'm not really impressed. Like, this jacket is just okay, a regular jacket. Why do you guys, fight so hard for it? And Jukebox breaks down the history of Ralph Lauren. And, the owner, was a poor dude from the Bronx. And, Ralph Lauren and Polo is very symbolic of things that you should strive for and dream of because, in actuality, those clothes aren't something that's necessarily isn't obtainable for the lower class African-American community. It's something that Nicole and her friends can't afford. And so that's why, that the African-Americans, in her neighborhood strive to have it because it makes you feel good and it makes you, strive for, of course, a better life. And, this is true now. We see that luxury brands are heavily and overly consumed by the African-American community. Don't get me wrong. I have my little pieces. I love my little bags. I have whatever, my little luxury bags. And, it's all fine and dandy, but it does, represent something in our community. But at the same time, we also have to be able to normalize Black luxury. You know what I'm saying? Like, we deserve luxury, items just as well as any other race. But I'm not going to get too deep, y'all. Like, that's a whole nother conversation. But it was a cool little scene, a little history moment. And they proceed to listen to music and they start getting intimate. And they begin to have their moment and, make love, I guess, whatever. I don't know, y'all. It was kind of cringy. I feel always a little weird about teens or teen-like characters having sex and being intimate. So it wasn't very comfortable for me to watch. But hey, we see Jukebox is losing her virginity or what have you. Or at least with a girl. I don't think she had sex before, but who knows? So back at the stash house, we see Kanan. He's, piling up the boxes for it to be moved. And Unique's crew came in guns blazing. They, knock out Kanan a couple times. And meanwhile, we see Marvin. He's driving back because he went to the bodega to take some of the items over to the new stash house. So he peeps like some people like loading up a van, and he's like, hold up, these motherfuckers. Like, so he proceeds to ram his nice Benz into the van and starts shooting at the dudes. Of course, they get away. So he creeps up to the house because, of course, you don't know what's going on inside the house. And he goes in and sees that a dude has a gun to Kanan's head. So he distracts the dude, ends up, shooting the dude. Of course, blood and everything is going on Kanan. He throws up because he never been so close to, a bunch of another man's blood or what have you. Well, he had a situation with Buck 20, but this scene was a little more gory, y'all. And Kanan was like, you might as well kill me too, because when my mom's finding about this ish, she gonna kill me and I'm gonna be dead. He was like, don't worry about it. Your mom will never find out about it. Go home and act like nothing has happened. So, of course, Kanan, he still got this man's blood on his shirt. So he goes home, and Raquel, she's, waiting on him to take him to his after school class. And, she tells him that he's late. Of course, her back is turned when he enters, so she don't see him. And so he got his coat all over, just kind of hugged up close to his chest so his shirt won't be shown. He was like, I'll be back now. So he went upstairs, changed his shirt, and he put the bloody shirt underneath his bed. And so, y'all, they proceed to drive to City College, to his class, and she has a little talk with him and say, hey, I really want you to like Symphony. I like Symphony. Just give him a chance. And Kanan was like, I probably will. He just feel a little different. And she was like, well, different is good. So, y'all, he walks into the class, and guess who is the MFing teacher? Symphony, y'all. I did not see this coming. This threw me all the way off, but I kind of felt that my theory of him being a cop wasn't necessarily true after we started didn't get any inklings of him being a cop. I really feel like, hey, episode 4, we'd have been getting clues by now, but he's actually a professor, part-time professor, part-time bartender. But now, Kanan's in this man's class, and Rock, she got her all in one situation. She got a boyfriend, she got a tutor, she got a babysitter. Like, she lucked up on this. So it was kind of cool how Rock set this up, because this is a way of her knowing where Kanan is at least a few nights out of the week and a few Saturdays out of the month. So she was slick with this. I think it's kind of overkill, because like, dang, I'm trying to get used to this dude being your boyfriend, your man's in him, and he is also my teacher. But at the end of the day, Kanan better get some A's, okay, Symphony? Like, for real. He can't be begging this dude's mom and give him anything less than an A. So, and I'm glad to see this revealed, because it wasn't added up, y'all. Like, Symphony, he had a nice apartment. I'm like, okay, how is he paying for this apartment? But it all makes sense, y'all. So I'm glad to see this. But I do have a prediction that there's going to come a time where Unique is want to get back at Rock and going to see Symphony and Kanan together. Maybe Symphony will take Kanan home one night after school or see them out doing something. And I feel like Symphony is going to be a casualty of war, because at the end of the day, he is a good character. And we know what happens with good characters. They do not last long, especially when they are attached to a bad character or a character that has beef. So I don't feel Symphony will last long. Sad to see it, but it's going to be inevitable, y'all. So while he is in class, y'all, Rock is up cleaning up Kanan's room and, folding up his clothes, the dirty clothes she's putting in the hamper. She looks under the bed and discovers the bloody polo shirt that he had in terms of the guy's blood at the stash house. So, yeah, she discovers this and is shocked. You can just tell she has so many emotions going on. She, is surprised. She's disappointed. And she's probably thinking like, yo, what the F is my son into? What the hell did he did? What happened though? It's going to be a whole bunch of questions. She is going to have 21 questions to be exact. Shout out to 50 Cent. That's one of my favorite 50 Cent songs. But yeah, y'all, it is going to get interesting. I'm excited. Like, I love this show. It's kind of really getting me very to the point with the original Power. When they start revving up season 3 and 4, like, I'm excited about every episode. I'm getting to the point where I'm to the edge of my seat. When that theme music come on, I'm like, Lord, what's going to happen? But it's a lot of Easter eggs being put into place. So I'm excited, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really did. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment. What are your predictions? Let me know what's going on. Thank you guys for listening. Enjoy the rest of you guys' week. Until next time, bye.